polar water from me, Ian?
I do not.
Thanks, Ian.
You have a whole fridge full of seltzers.
But not the special flavors. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday, September 28th, 2021, alongside Ian Ferguson.
Kind of tastes like Fruit Loops.
I'm Pat Contry. Don't rub it in, Ian. On the show today, we'll be talking about the Nintendo Direct, directly Nintendo to you. Ian has passed on from his game store life. Are your old games worth anything? Also, maybe an ethical dilemma for the Patreon poll topic as well, and other fun stuff. Ian, how was your weekend?
It was good.
My buddy.
My
pal.
I grilled 2 kinds of hot dogs this weekend. It's very nice. I grilled both from Iowa Farms, my favorite butcher shop in San Diego.
Okay.
One was the carne asada hot dog. They're spicy. They're delicious. They're wonderful. All beef hot dogs mixed with delicious, wonderful carne asada spices. But the other hot dogs I got were the skin-on Franks. I haven't had a skin-on hot dog in ages, or a natural casing hot dog.
It's like more like a sausage?
No, it's like, you know the hot dogs,
twisty thing.
You know the hot dogs, like you grill them and they get all charry and delicious.
Yeah.
And they crackle a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a natural casing hot dog. They're delicious.
I thought that's most of the hot dogs will go on the grill.
No, well, I mean, it's most of the
sorry.
hot dogs that you should be grilling. I mean,
I see, because a lot of them are pre-cooked already, so you can just
like Oscar Mayer and Ballpark and Cons and Bar S and other bullshit like that.
Frank just goes for the Hebrew Nationals. The kosher dogs are great.
Those are good.
Those are great.
Those are good.
Those are solid. That'll make me sick. Like the overly processed shit ones make me sick.
No,
or used to.
No, the butcher shop ones are definitely going to be a higher grade of.
Weren't you supposed to make me something with the Hatch chilies by now?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I just haven't yet. I've
Okay.
been
All right, no rush.
slow.
Intermittent fasting, that's fine. That sounds like a good weekend, though.
Yeah, hot dogs. And I worked my last Luna shift, but we'll get into that.
That'll
later.
be a full topic. That'll be a not so common podcast style segment.
Good. What did you do this weekend?
I edited a Flea Market Madness. Volume 41 is out right now.
Oh, 41. That's a lot.
That's all. Well, I've done 5 this year. I was only doing like 1 or 2 years since I moved to Castle Country, and now it's like, if I do 5 a year, they're going to be done in 2 years. 2023, a 50th anniversary of my YouTube channel. That's going to be it for Flea Market Madness. That's it. That's how they're basically being done. It looks like so, like 5 or 6 next year, then 5 or 6 the year after that.
Keeps you putting out that content.
Well, yeah, because the NES Punk stuff fell off, obviously, for lots of reasons. But I'm still going to do 1 or 2 this year. I did 2 last year. I did 3 the year before. That could have been the end. That Christmas episode of 2019, that was almost like prophetic in terms of like in terms of for the world change, but also.
Was that the last one I was in? Was that the one where you had me record something at Luna?
I don't think you recorded for that one. Did you?
For the Christmas one?
For 2 years ago, 2019?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
It was days before Christmas, the PAL exclusive Super Nintendo game.
Oh no, I don't think
I literally edited that 2 hours before my flight. It was done, and it rendered without a hitch. I went to see my parents in Pennsylvania and my sister. Something told me to just go see him because obviously if I didn't, I wouldn't have seen him for like a year and a half.
Right.
So it was super weird. Remember, I was like, oh yeah, well, I went on December 23rd, and surprised my mom. She was crying, probably because she didn't want to see me. No, I'm kidding. Why are you here?
We were looking forward to a nice.
We wanted to be quiet. But it was, yeah, that could have been the last NES Punk episode, though. Like, the way I ended it, it could have been. I know you didn't see it.
No, that one I didn't.
It was one of my better episodes. My writing's gotten stronger the past ones. Less silliness, less extraneous things, you know. Nothing will beat Frank, though, for berating me with a megaphone. 100-degree heat.
No, that was very good.
That was very good. Thanks, Ian, for admitting that. Not that I did well. Ian won't say that, but like it was good. Like I was involved with it, but I didn't do it.
You've done
Thanks,
wonderfully.
Dad. Thanks, Dad. Hold back those compliments until I'm in therapy. Yeah, that's what I did. Disney. Speaking of creativity, Disney is suing both Stanley and the Steve Ditko estates over Marvel IP stuff since they are trying to terminate the copyrights and have them revert back to the creators in 2023. I don't know much about this copyright rule. I know in general it's around like 70 years, and it changes based upon when they change the laws. There's like a graph in terms of like when the copyrights run out, depending upon when they were created. They vary widely. Like in the 1800s, it was like only 20 years. Well, no one lived that long back then anyway.
No.
But now then it like got wider and wider.
By 20, you had a few grandchildren.
But by 20, yeah, you're a great grandpappy when you're 38, and you're a couple of years left to go. Yeah, you had to get those kids in quick to sustain the human race back then. But Hollywood reported that Marvel has filed 5 lawsuits against the families of Ditko, Gene Colan, not as familiar with him, and Stan Lee, claiming that the superheroes they created are ineligible for copyright termination as they were created as works for hire on a contractual basis. In the admittedly unlikely event the outfit loses, then ownership of every big name that the aforementioned trio originated would be out of Marvel's hands, effectively blowing a hole in the MCU and losing both Kevin Feige? Is it Feige or Fiji? I forget. Production house, and costing Disney billions upon billions of dollars. Okay. So Ditko is a co-creator of Spider-Man. I mean, he did the fucking design. He doesn't get enough credit. He also created a Doctor Strange, other stuff. Obviously, Stan Lee was involved in creating Spider-Man and a bunch of other 60s heroes. Not as familiar with Gene Colan. So, Siegel and Schuster, who created Superman back in 38? Jesus Christ, that long ago. They tried to sue DC to get the rights back to their states, and they lost that. They lost that battle. I don't know if this is going to be different. I think this is it should be just a payout. Just pay them out. Pay the families out. Just give them a fucking payout. That's all. But if this happens, that means you can't have Marvel Spider-Man comics or toys, or it won't be in the movies. It would be the rights of the estate to license them out to whoever the hell they wanted to. They'd be totally independent properties, which you can't imagine that happening, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
That would be insane. It'd be like DC be like, hey, we want to license Spider-Man to hang out with the Teen Titans, and they could do it. Like, it would be a possibility. Or there'd be like just an independent, random ass, wacky Spider-Man show that isn't associated with Marvel as we know it. Like, that could happen. Weird. People were like saying, "Oh, they're asking for too much money." It's like, well, give the family something. Come
the
on.
fucking families of the creators.
Come on,
give them something.
Give them something.
And the fucking corporate worship that I've seen the past couple days is just absolutely gross.
Give them something.
So many people so concerned about, I want product.
Yeah,
you have fucking decades of it. Eat shit. I have no patience for people like
60 years of Spider-Man content. And you have, I think that Amazing Spider-Man is up to like 800 issue or so. Like, it's.
It's, I just.
You don't want to get a blowback.
I don't care. Obviously,
it's weird though, because we're actually attacking the corporation, but it's whiny fanboys that are going to be the ones that they're siding with them to get their product. You're right. It's a really weird situation.
It's very, very strange to see people do that. Look, I understand.
We all like Spider-Man.
In all seriousness, yes, I understand. People don't want these characters to go away. People like the MCU. They like the Marvel Universe.
They wouldn't go away, though.
Right.
They wouldn't go away.
They wouldn't.
They just have to be licensed out.
Right.
I mean, if I own...
But that's what drives me nuts, is that no matter what happens, this character is not going to go away, but these people can't handle the thought of being inconvenienced without their content for fucking a few years.
You think the family of Stan Lee and Ditko don't want to make money off Spider-Man movies? Or
it's not like they're going to take Spider-Man and throw him in a safe and you're never going to see Spider-Man again.
They're not doing this not to make money off it. Well, unless you're an insane person. Yeah, I own one of the most popular comic book characters on the planet. He's one of the top 3 usually, along with like Superman and Batman. I'm gonna put him in a trunk somewhere and not use him. Like, no, that's insane. That's insane. But they'd have the right to do that potentially. We'll see what happens. I think it's interesting. That's all. I mean, God, imagine once the copyrights start running out for video game characters. Oh man, talk about fanboyism. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be something.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're gonna take it as a Sonic fanboy, Ian, when Sega might lose the copyright to that eventually when you're 75 years
As a Sonic fan, I'm pretty used to bullshit.
You're used to bullshit?
I'm used to bullshit, so I'm not really super concerned.
Speaking of bullshit, Ian.
Yeah.
You see these Pokemon Oreos? I've been hearing about this past week or two.
Yeah.
You're the Pokemon man on the street, so you know about this stuff more than me.
I just think they're cute. I just think they're swell. I just think they're neat. The Pokemon Oreos. So yeah, Nabisco made Pokemon Oreos with different Pokemon branded into the one side of the chocolate cookie. And apparently some are harder to find than others. And people are trying to sell like the Mew Oreos.
Are they really? Let me look that up on
for more money.
Which means they'd have to take it out as a loose cookie. Like,
yes.
$100 or best offer. There's you know how many? They're so rare that this is just the insane people that have taken them out. There's 7,000 of them on eBay.
They're not that rare. And that's the thing. A cookie company is not going to create a mold to make 3 fucking cookies.
Or like 100, yes.
Right. And then just sneak them into random packages.
It's a chase cake. There you go. Chase cookie. You got to find it.
I mean, okay, there have been like contests and stuff like that, but no.
One's being bid on for $325, but it's for charity. One is bid on $20. Like for $20, can't you just buy like 10 of these packs of cookies? Like, what's a pack of little Oreos? Like $2 like $2 for like a little single pack, like $1? What's a single pack? Like 50 cents?
I don't know. No, not 50 cents, man. It's not 1987.
Well, a box of Oreos costs $3-4. So like a single pack of
those are usually like $1.25.
Wow, they gouge you on those single packs.
They absolutely do.
Wow, I didn't know that, Ian.
I love Oreos. I refuse to buy them.
I like Hydrox. I'm Hydrox
I
for life.
refuse to buy Oreos.
Why do you refuse to buy them?
Because I fucking like them too much.
You'll eat a whole fucking sleeve?
I will eat the whole box. I will.
Do they have sleeves of those? They're not sleeves.
No, it's a tray.
It's just a tray.
I'll eat the whole fucking thing.
Is it just the sugary? Is it the cream?
I don't know. It's just I think it's more the chocolate cookie that I really like. Oh god, the Oreos are so good.
Do you dip or do you untwist and lick? What's your technique?
Just shovel is my technique by the Oreos. But it's true. They're like there are lots of things that I love. And I buy and I enjoy and people know about them, but I don't buy Oreos and I don't talk about Oreos because I don't want people to buy me Oreos.
Now I want you to have
because I like them.
Now I want you to have the OG Hydrox and see if it's the same reaction. Because they were before Oreo Hydrox.
I've had Hydrox before, and I have not had them in a long time, but I remember thinking there was a difference and not particularly caring for them. I bet you if I went back to it now, maybe I'd think different.
They don't sell them out here. It's like
they don't?
I don't think they do. It's a Drake's thing. It's regional because they made those in the East Coast.
Okay.
Then Oreo and Nabisco basically stole the idea, just like Hostess stole all the ideas from OG Drake's cakes.
Last time I had them was maybe I thought they were close enough to Oreos.
They're close.
Here's
their
my
Oreos
thing.
were cheaper, so we always got Hydrox instead of Oreo.
I think you're right. I think I remember them being
Hydrox
closer because when it comes to like name brand and off brand things,
Leaf bought them. Ugh.
Nothing. There's such a big difference between Oreos and like store brand chocolate cream sandwich cookies. They don't even taste remotely the same.
Except for Hydrox.
Yes. And now I remember Hydrox being kind of in that.
Because it came out in 1908.
In that Oreo camp.
It came out in 1908. It came out, Sunshine Biscuits owned it until 96. Then Keebler bought them for 5 years. And then Kellogg, and then Leaf owns the brand now. What the fuck? Now it's just a brand name? So I guess if you find them now, maybe they won't taste the same. Maybe. Yeah, Oreo came out 4 years after Hydrox. So they're back in the teens. Like fucking Titanic days. Was that 1912 about? Interesting. I want to see there was a lawsuit back then between Oreo and Hydrox. The thing about Hydrox was it's so plain, the design. There was no marketing. Oreo is all the marketing in the name. Hydrox sounds like a fucking penicillin substitute. That's what I mean. What is Hydrox?
Hydrox doesn't sound. Yeah,
it doesn't. It's a cleaning solution. It does not sound like a cookie.
It absolutely sounds
Hydrox is the worst name.
Absolutely sounds like a cleaning solution.
And now this is turning into a
Cookie
Hydrox.
Cast.
In 1908, when the cookie was created, the creator sought a name that would convey purity and goodness. Oh my God! And derived their choice from the component elements that constitute the molecule of water. I did not know that. I should have. So it's hydrogen oxygen. They are not pure.
No,
they're great.
They're delicious.
It's pure sugar goodness. Wow. On the cookie's 100th anniversary, Kellogg's resumed distribution of Hydrox under the Sunshine label, with the first batches shipped in late August 2008. Hydrox aficionados have bombarded Kellogg's with thousands of phone calls and an online petition asking that production resume. The recipe was slightly altered from the original, and trans fats were removed. Oh, you gotta love those trans fats. The cookies were available nationally for a limited time, and then less than a year later, Kellogg's had removed Hydrox from their website. You motherfuckers. Carvel
Want
sold ice cream goods manufactured with Hydrox cookie crumbs until 2012. I did not know that. They're cookie crumbs with Hydrox. You got to stand up for your East Coast food chains. Why are you leaning in?
You want to know a fun fact? As much as I love Oreos, not a big fan of cookies and cream ice cream.
You moved back about 18 inches. I was very uncomfortable. I don't think you ever did that before.
That was,
You don't like cookies and cream? They used to be my favorite ice cream.
I
Used to be.
like a cookies and cream milkshake, but so there's something about cookies and cream ice cream where it just makes me want either vanilla or the cookies.
It's a tease.
It's weird.
It's like
I'm weird.
You're like it's like a junkie.
You got issues.
I won't tease you at ultimatenintendo.com.
Oh,
you can.
all right.
There's no tease. You can order and get the enamel pins. You can get the RBI baseball stickers, the Ultimate Nintendo books, the Not for Resale Blu-rays. You can get all that. There's no tease. T-shirts.
T-shirt.
I'm not going to tease you. It's
Stop. You don't ruin it.
It was good enough.
It's good enough.
I'm going over the line. And then I'm going to be on Twitch on Wednesday, twitch.tv/country code, doing 80s and 90s commercials. And then I'm on Cameo, cameo.com/PatCountry. I will fulfill all your needs. Doesn't sound right, but yeah. And then I'll be at Too Many Games in a week and a half, October 8th to 10th in Oaks, PA. I'll be doing a panel there. I'm not sure I'll be doing the Play the Punk Challenge because of COVID stuff. You want people close to each other. But yeah, it'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time. And then I'll be at Retropalooza 2 weeks after that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Sweet.
Sweet like your seltzer lemon water?
Like
that's a common flavor.
Yeah, it's very common flavor.
I thought it was one of those weird ones.
No.
That you only get like cranberry lime or something that I want.
Cranberry lime is a fairly common flavor too.
They don't have it at Sprouts. They only have like 3 or 4 flavors at Sprouts in the
Really?
bottle. They don't have cans, they only have the bottles.
Pink grapefruit, black cherry,
Yes.
lime, lemon.
They don't have lime there, lemon there. At Sprouts. They have the fucking coconut one, no. And they have the plain one, no. I don't want a plain one. I'm sorry, I don't want a plain one.
I love plain, but you know what my favorite polar seltzers, and I for a long time I was like I don't think I'm gonna like this, but I do. The ginger.
Never had that.
The ginger mule. Yeah, it just tastes like unsweetened ginger ale. It's delicious.
Okay. Billy Mitchell site debunks his scores. PerfectPacman.com, Mitchell's old domain name. Mitchell is now being used to debunk the Pac-Man and Donkey Kong players' contentious records. This comes from Ari Notice at Kotaku. So if you go to that website, have you gone to the website? Have you checked it out?
No, I haven't.
You go to the website, the first thing you see is an article saying, or I guess a post. The first thing is from September 27th. The video game fraud of the century, .8. I guess it's a long line of like the history of Billy Mitchell, alleged misnomers, like the weird video game player of the century award that really wasn't an award that was given to him. You see that thing? You heard about that? That's on here. There's all these different articles here. So
no, I'm looking through it. This is a pretty well organized takedown.
So
of old Bill Mitchell.
So this happened on August 31st. Under new management. Welcome to our new blog, perfectpacman.com. This blog will be dedicated to gaming-related topics of interest to us. If you like what you see, just give us a whistle. Disclaimer: the new site administration has no affiliation with any liars and or cheaters and or narcissistic frauds who may have owned this web domain in the past, but we appreciate the free advertising. LOL. Wow, that's pretty funny. And there's other articles there as well, but it looks like there had been something. There was one post in July, then nothing then before that until December. So yeah, it must have been defunct. Billy let it lapse, and now there you go. You can read all about alleged naughty things being done by the video game player of the century, which is just a funny thing to even say out loud, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. I guess pin the medal on your shirt and go off. People are obsessed with titles. Why are people so obsessed with titles?
That's all they have to hold on to.
It's
an ego thing, Ian.
So much of like what we've talked about lately, like can boil down to titles and people wanting titles. Shit at WADA and in the game grading. People want titles. People want Tommy has to be a fucking CEO. This guy has to be the video game fucking player of the year. Why does everyone need a goddamn title?
Well, it's also all the awards that Tommy, gets that he.
Yeah, sure, yes.
And half of those are connected to like organizations he started.
Or they're Orange County specific to like the 6 square blocks downtown.
the local Riverside Musicians game composer award. You want to talk about Nintendo Direct, Ian?
Yeah, I'd rather.
I like your mood today, Ian.
I'd rather talk about the Nintendo. I am so tired. It's real insomniac hours up here again.
I miss Insomniac, Ian.
Huh?
I miss Insomniac, Ian.
Oh yeah, here he is.
Huh? What?
Here he is.
What?
Ivani caught me like falling asleep with my eyes open a couple times yesterday. She's like, "Hey,"
What?
I'm like, "Whoa!" She's like,
you do that?
She's like, "Your eyes were wide open." I'm like, I was gone. I was long gone.
But that's not being an insomniac. That's just being.
No, I mean, because I didn't sleep the night before, I was really shitty yesterday.
Oh, it's like me after a marathon where
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm like falling asleep.
I just couldn't sleep. Anyways, Nintendo Direct. Nintendo
It's for breakfast now.
Direct.
It was on the 23rd. It was on a Thursday for the ladies.
We went back and forth too much trying to figure
Was
out.
it Wednesday or Thursday?
It was
Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, this is in the intro because it's 5 days old, so it's close to spoilage in terms of stuff. So there was lots of things announced. Let's go through some of them, shall we?
Yeah, there's a nice GameSpot. I love these articles that do my work for me. And just like, 'cause I watched some of the Direct, but I didn't watch all of it.
So big one, one of the biggest,
What, Ian?
big news.
Don't you make fun of that sound clip? Someone put in a lot of time and effort to make that sound
You
clip.
did a good job with it.
I didn't do it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh. Bayonetta 3. Sorry, Duck.
It's a chick.
Sorry, Quackers.
Oh, it is a duck.
Bayonetta 3 was the last game announced of the stuff that I think people really want to see from a Nintendo Direct. Metroid Prime 4, whatever the Breath of the Wild sequel is called.
Well, I know it's coming, but they want it,
Right. Bayonetta 3 is the big one because that was announced in 2017 and nothing had been seen of it.
And that was announced for the
Since.
Wii. It's like, oh, the Wii's coming out. We're going to have it 4 years. Wow.
Was it? I don't think no, it was announced for the Switch.
Yeah, but I mean, that's when the Switch came out 4 years ago.
Oh, you said the Wii.
Oh, God, really? Did I? God, I'm out of it, too.
You
and
did.
And I slept.
And you slept.
I had a dream with the Incredible Hulk was attacking me in the ring. And then it was a battle royal. Then someone hit Andre the Giant with the chair and he fell out the ring.
The Incredible Hulk or Hulk Hogan?
Incredible Hulk,
Oh, okay.
which is where the name comes from.
Yeah.
That's why Marvel had a tip with them for a while and got a payout of royalty. Did you know that? Sorry, go on.
Hulk Hogan looks like he stinks all the time. Just looks like one of the smelliest motherfucking dudes. So this is how I feel. I'm just letting you know how I feel. So anyways, yeah, Bayonetta 3. Are you excited? I am. Moving on. There was Monster Hunter Rise, the expansion. Sunbreak was announced.
He stinks. Okay. Bayonetta looked interesting to me. He was glossed over that there's like monster battles in it.
Yes, it does.
That
It does look cool. Yeah,
You control different types of monsters. Like kaiju, you're a kaiju guy, right?
I'm a kaiju guy.
You just glassed over that. Okay, Bayonetta 3.
Bayonetta 3.
That looked interesting. And people, obviously, fanboy's dream, looks like the Baroness. I like her just because of that alone. Monster Hunter.
I got it. So the original Monster Hunter Rise was feudal Japan kind of era. This looks like it might be like feudal European. This expansion, which
Okay.
could be interesting. It could be a neat way to play off of the same time period or same-ish time period, but do like different styles.
Okay, what about this Chocobo GP thing?
So I'm excited about this. They did not talk about
what?
this though, because I am fairly certain this is just a port of the original PlayStation Chocobo Racing, which I
Okay.
had and I loved because as a person with a PlayStation, the one thing that I missed was having a kart racer, and I was never into like Crash, so I didn't get CTR, so
Good
I
for you,
played
Ian.
Chocobo Racing.
That's adorable.
it's adorable.
There's a little rollerblade one.
But it looks like I'm fairly. They did a remake of the original Chocobo Racing for Switch, and then stopped talking about it. Like 3 years ago, they announced it.
64-player bracket tournament mode. That sounds cool. Tournament
Could
mode
be neat.
Could be cool for a kart series.
I also liked it because you as you collected the same power-ups multiple times, it would upgrade the spell to stronger levels when you would fire off your weapon.
Oh, that's like the Lego Racers back when
or
you did
I
that.
believe Diddy Kong did that too.
That's like Lego Racers. You get the same power up, and you increase the power up like 4 different levels or whatever.
Mod Nation Racers did it as well. It's I like that.
That's a good alternative.
Yeah, it's nice.
You pick if you want defense or offense.
There's a little bit of strategy involved, too.
What about Kirby and the Forgotten Land?
I am really into this. I love
How did Kirby
the
get
weird
cast away here? What happened to your little guy?
Huh?
What happened to Kirby?
I don't know. We're gonna find
Face
out.
first on the beach, like Link in Awakening.
But it's post-apocalyptic looking, like cute
Is it?
Post-apocalyptic looking. Yeah, it's. I mean, he's walking around.
I don't think it's
it.
post-apocalyptic. He's just on a abandoned island.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if it's apocalyptic. Ian.
I'm just saying it gives you that vibe.
He's like going through like a mall that's abandoned.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's going to be like an adventure. Okay.
I think this is the first truly 3D
3D adventure. Oh, big crocodile.
3D Kirby game.
Watch out, Kirby. Oh, this looks adorable. It looks adorable, Ian. You solve a little mystery of what's happening here.
Solving a mystery. Going wherever
Triangle
it
strategy
leads.
looks interesting just because it's a Square Enix looking.
Yeah, and it
Tactics
uses
RPG.
it uses the what do they call 2D? I can't remember what they have a name for it, but it uses the 2D 3D graphic style that was first done with Octopath Traveler.
Hate that name.
Good game though, and they're doing it with the Dragon Quest III remake. I love that visual style, and I do like strategy games. I'm awful at them, but I love to sit there and stroke my chin and be like, that's what we're doing, and then watch everything go to fucking shit. It's great. But I like to feel smart.
You don't have confidence in your strategy, your military strategy, Ian?
No, I'm not a general.
Come on, Ian.
Not a general.
Not enough Civilization playing. You got it. Yeah, that's what trained me back when I was 15, 14 years old.
Castlevania Advance Collection.
Okay.
Yep, that's out. That was one of their surprise drop announcements where they're like, and it's coming out later today. This is great. It's 3 of the best Castlevania games, and they're all getting pretty expensive. So this collection is $19.99. Comes with Circle of the Moon, Harmony of Dissonance, and Aria of Sorrow. Aria of Sorrow alone, I think, is like a $50 to $80 game at the moment. Oddly, they included Dracula X, the Super Nintendo version of Rondo of Blood, which is not very good. Don't know why they felt they had to tack it on. Hey, it's a freebie. That's cool. But why not the actual version of Rondo of Blood? That is better.
Splatoon, go.
Splatoon 3.
Go.
Splatoon 3.
Go.
I feel like we're doing an this is like a workout. I'm sweating. Splatoon 3 was already announced, but they showed more gameplay. It looked like there's going to be like little mechs that people can get into and fight in during the team battles. And they talked a bit about the story mode, which is going to show the return of mammals to the world of Splatoon.
What happened to the mammals?
Well, there's never been any mammals in Splatoon, except for Judd the cat.
Does that explain what happened with Judd? Was it a scientific experiment?
They have talked a little bit about Judd.
What's the lore?
You know, honestly, I'd have to call in Vonnie on this one. I don't really know.
So, so the evolution in the Splatoon world never had mammals. It stopped at.
No, all the mammals disappeared.
Oh, they disappeared.
They disappeared.
And
At one
we
point.
don't know what happened to them.
No one knows what happened. The world has just been these squid kids running around.
Is there a fossil record?
There are some fossils, yes. The story mode in Splatoon is very, very strange.
Oh my god! Interesting. I want to know the backstory here. This is going to go to a very dark place.
It gets a little weird and dark. Yeah, it does.
Okay, I just want to know the story now.
But yeah, the only mammals in the Splatoon world are Judd and Judd Jr.
I'm calling an audible on the Switch Online. That's going to be a full topic. I said screw it. Let's go do a full topic.
Okay, fine.
Sorry that Ian. So that was interesting. Right? Anything more on Castlevania? Anything else that came up before I get into my fucking rant? Not rant, but I talk about Actraiser?
Yeah, I'm going to say a couple more things. Okay. I think one of the games that people are sleeping on that looks particularly interesting to me is the Voice of Cards, Isle Dragon Roars game, where everything is done via card representation, being written by Yoko Taro, who wrote and created Nier 1 and 2, which have got huge fan bases now. I like the art. I like any video game that includes the trappings of tabletop games. So I love video games that use cards. I love video games that show dice or tokens or something like you're.
I never got into card games.
This looks more like a normal RPG, not like a trading card game, but still. And then a game that was not on the Direct that I don't want people to sleep on because I think it's really good, Beast Breaker.
Okay.
It's by the same guy who did Threes, a popular phone game. He did a couple other things. Beast Breaker is super fun. It's a kind of like puzzle game RPG. You play as a little mouse that's very adorable with a sword and a shield. And you fight large creatures. And the creatures are all built out of segments. And you aim the mouse with, a line, and you fire it off like you would. And the mouse bounces around and hits different things, and it takes the different segments' hit points down. And there's all sorts of fun things that are involved.
I think it's interesting, the PR campaign that Small Rodents have done the past 50 to 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
They used to be known for pestilence and death.
Yep. Now they're just the cutest goddamn
killed
things.
most of Europe. And now it's like, oh, we love all mice and rats, and they're the most adorable. I just think it's funny.
They're adorable.
I'm not judging rats or mice one way or the other. If you're a mouse out there, I'm not saying whether that's good or bad that you had this PR thing. Good for you. Make that bank.
I'm overheating. You talk a little bit about Actraiser.
Something's going on with you. You're like energy's going like up, and then like it's like you're recharging, then you're coming back.
Yep.
You leaned into me. I felt uncomfortable. It was very, very alpha for you to do. I was scared.
Now I'm leaning back, relaxed, ready to hear about Actraiser.
So I'm on Twitter, and I know the Nintendo Direct's going on. Sometimes I watch the entire Nintendo Direct from the beginning, and I watch the insanity on the Twitch stream. People are just like, boring, or where is Zelda? I'm 14. I don't know what these games are, So I see Actraiser come up, like someone retweeted it. I'm like, what? Actraiser Renaissance was out that day.
That day.
The good old the Fire Pro marketing method. It's coming out like right now, and it's out. Usually with Fire Pro, it's like within the month. I like this better. It's out now. So it's funny because like the past few weeks, Actraiser has come up. I was like, a game you want to see a sequel to, or whatever, or like a remake, and it comes up from time to time because we've never had a game. We did have the Sega one that you played. What was the Sega one called? That was like the spiritual wannabe successor.
It wasn't a Sega one.
Was it Sega published?
Maybe, but it wasn't made by them. It was Soul something.
Soul something, and that wasn't well reviewed.
No, it sucked. I didn't. I don't want to be too mean, but yeah, I did not like it.
It was Soul something. But anyway, so I didn't even try that because I don't want to be
Soul Seraph.
Soul Seraph. What is that on Metacritic? Let me see. Metacritic. Soul Seraph.
Yeah, it was Sega.
Ian, you gotta give me credit every once in a while when I know about modern games. Every once in a while, be like, give me a little pat in the head and be like, Pat, you did a good job. I'm gonna bring you some chili.
Pat. Soul, Metacritic.
53%.
It's not good. Man.
Only 20 votes. Okay, so Square Enix is like, you know what? We see this shitty version. We're gonna do it. I guarantee that's probably what happened because that was a few years ago. That game came out. So this is a remake of the 91 Actraiser that Quintet developed, and was it just Enix at the time? Was it for the combination? Just Enix published. One of my favorite Super Nintendo games. I gave it a glowing full-page review in a certain Super Nintendo guidebook.
Did you give it 5?
I did. I was like 4.5. I was like, if I'm going to go 4.5 on this, I'm like, I got to go 5 because I can just talk about this game forever. And it's a game where it seems like people that like it really love this game. It's almost, you can't be like, well, I think it's all right. You have to really sink your teeth in this game. If you don't know what it is out there, you listen to the wrong podcast, but it's a combination action platform with sim, building villages up, which is extremely unique. Obviously, I've been waiting forever for a game to do it again before the crappy Sega version. Even the sequel didn't do it. The sequel stripped out the sim part. And why is that important? Because the game has a very heavy-handed spiritual religious tone to it. In Japan, you were playing as God, taking on the devil and his minions, Satan. And they changed it to you're the master in Tanzara in North America because of the religious stuff. But it's a story about humanity, and through the villagers, you learn about the follies and beauty of humanity, and told through little mini villagers and little stories. And stripping that from the sequel was disgusting. because that's what made the game tick. It wasn't just the fact that you're going around fighting demons. You were doing it on behalf of humanity. That chick's gone. You were doing it on the behalf of humanity and helping them out, and then sometimes pleading with you. So you're acting as a god, but you're like a benevolent god. You're being nice.
Right.
And it's about restoration of faith and issues about helping out each other. Like, again, told through the little stories. So like that's why I love the game, because it had a sort of a bold tone to it, and obviously the action platforming elements get the job done. They're not great, but they get the job done enough that you get back to the sim building. It's almost like you want to get back to the sim building. Like you want to get back to that.
The character design is really good, though. That's the thing that
Yes.
as a person who's never played Actraiser, I've always loved. Not for more than 5 minutes. I've always loved the I loved looking at screenshots of it in the magazines.
Yes.
I loved looking even
Art
part
design
two.
is fantastic.
Even part 2
Yes.
because I mean the sprites still look extremely nice. Like the art design is just great.
The art design is great. The chubby little cute angel that you used is adorable in the original, and obviously it is my all-time favorite score in a video game.
Sure.
It is
and
absolutely,
you're not alone on that.
It is absolutely a brilliant, moving score
People love that score.
by Yuzo Koshiro, and it was so good it became a fully orchestrated one on CD back in the day. You can find it on YouTube. It's I mean, a beautiful, beautiful score.
You and I both love Yuzo. He's the one who did all the all the Streets of Rage soundtracks.
Oh, he
too.
did?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he's top fucking notch.
So okay, we'll get that in common first. I probably never played Actraiser. Right? It's like me saying I never played Sonic. I at least
I'll
played
get
Sonic.
there.
30 years later. So it's one of those quintessential Super Nintendo games. Like when you think of Super Nintendo games, Actraiser.
It's one of the first ones I think of because they
'cause it's unique.
focused. It's unique, but they also focused on it very heavily early on.
Because it came out in November 91. So it was like that first run of games in North America.
Gotcha.
So I was shocked but pleasantly surprised to see a remake being done. Overall, I like it. It is not the original, and I'll tell you why. And I'll go into some of the differences and what they added and what they didn't really strip out anything, but the differences. So you still have 6 different like mini continent worlds you have to build up. That's the same. You still start off fighting to sort of gain control originally and get your spirit back into the temple. They're all based around the temples. These are your 6 worlds here. They expand the gameplay out in this remake. They really lengthened it. They it's like double or triple the amount of time to play through.
Yeah, I know a lot of people said that it felt more more than a remake. It felt like
Yes.
a 1.5 or a pseudo sequel.
Yeah. The issue is that they fucked with the battle mechanics too much. In the original Actraiser, you jump and slash, you slash standing up, you crouch and slash, and you have your magic powers that you eventually you earn through building up the towns. This, they changed the single slash into a triple attack. And then in the last one, you could have the option to dash forward. You can dash back with the L trigger, which is a nice dodge thing. But they made one change that I hate. They added an upward thrust, like Zelda 2 upward thrust, to get enemies in the air. It used to be that it was easy to get enemies above you in the original by jumping and slashing because it was an overhead slash.
And you had it, and it would create
do
an
an
arc. Yeah.
Now, when you jump and slash, it does it horizontally.
That's weird.
It makes it an annoyance now to fight off flying enemies. It shouldn't have to be an annoyance to fight off flying enemies. And they're trying to outthink the room, as Frank says. Like, if they just did a straight, we're going to redo how it played with the slashes, and we'll add maybe the dash or the dodge back. Like, I would have been fine. They made the mechanics too cumbersome to update it to a modern audience. That it's not broken. It's now worse than it was even in 91. The simplicity of design was, I think, part of the charm. Now it's gone.
Right.
I don't mind the little updates for modern things where you can turn it off, where every slash you see the hit points come off everyone. I don't like that. It's like they're little minor fucking guys. Who cares? It takes 2 or 3 hits. That's fine, but that annoyed me. It made combat that much more difficult, where I shouldn't be dying going through this first stage, and I was dying. I was playing on hard. I was like, okay, I'm playing on hard, but like I shouldn't have been dying. But they made the magic better. The magic now, you don't just get one spell. You can scroll through the spells as you earn them up and use each one. And you build up the magic points by getting orbs and killing enemies versus getting the scrolls to use them once. I like that. That's a positive change. That's a modern change. That makes it a little easier. But changing the mechanics of the sword fighting was just not where it was at for me. And that really, I think, did a disservice to them. The art design, I'm 50-50 on. It looks great for the village. I do not like it for the action platforming parts.
That's what I kind of thought looking at screenshots. I thought the village stuff actually looked great, but
yes,
I'm not. As time has gone on, I've gotten better about not being such a 2D art purist. I do prefer it, but it's something. The design just doesn't transfer over super well to 3D.
Yeah, they went almost like half. It looks like a DS game sort of look to it. You know what I mean? Like you can see it looks like clean, but you can still see the pixel edges on stuff. And I'm just like, it was almost like a half measure. You might as well just go just all sprite or all 3D. They went like in between, which was weird. I guess that's a style. And I just didn't like that. But so I'm down on the battle stuff. That's worse than the Super Nintendo one. But the village stuff, they added a decent amount to it. And this is what they did, Ian. You're going to like this. Okay, there's one bad part they added. So in the village now, you earn a hero warrior. There's 6 of them that can help defend your village from sieges that happen now. So in Actraiser, you always fend off in the air from there's usually 4 monster layers. You fend off the flying birds and the demons, right? That's still there. And you can seal them up. Now when you seal them up, though, you have to have the master go inside and do a quick 1-minute fight against a mini boss that, honestly, you don't need it. Get it out. It almost breaks up the game too much before the humans just sealed it themselves. So you have that. But now you have an interesting strategy minigame put in. You build forts up. There's 2 different types of forts so far. There's a gate one on the road that can stop these basically monsters invade on the ground. You're looking overhead. It's a real-time strategy thing. And you can place these guard towers in the road. You can do arrow ones. And you can also in real time place roadblocks. You can't do once these attacks happen, you can't place the guardhouse, but you can place these roadblocks that then the monsters have to hit away.
So you can slow them down.
You're trying to defend the temple. Once the temple gets destroyed, game over. So you use those in conjunction with placing your basically hero character who has an HP level to fend off this attack. That's an excellent addition to the game. I mean, that when I was thinking of my own remake in my head, I would want to do something like that. I wanted there to be fending off attacks. So
it added tower defense type stuff.
A real-time tower defense thing.
Soul Seraph, I think that's the one thing I would give Soul Seraph is they did add that, and I thought that was neat, and people told me at the time that that's not in normal Actraiser, and I was like, that's a good idea. Unfortunately, it just everything else was not great.
So they beefed out the sim part pretty well. You still have to destroy your old houses with lightning in order to build the bigger ones. That's still there because there's 3 different levels to your town. There's still that stuff. There's still the same stories, but now they added more. They basically beefed this out a lot. 2.5 hours, I still did not beat the first stage still. On the Super Nintendo, by 2.5 hours in, you're well into the game.
Sure.
You can complete probably the game in 2.5 hours, I think, if you really go quickly. So they really beefed it out, but they beefed out too much of the action elements. They really made them bigger. And like I said, the mechanics aren't as good. The score is obviously great. So you could have the option. Yuzo came back and did Yuzo-san did a not a remix. He reorchestrated the original, so he added to them.
Nice.
But you have the option to change to the original Super Nintendo.
Very good.
That's brilliant. But the update is great.
So, I love optional soundtracks.
So I recommend this. It's a weird recommendation. I recommend this if you have not played the first one. I almost recommend that you jump in and play this one since you have not played the first one. And you might like it more than me, if that makes sense. You won't be spoiled by the original. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, I'll say this. I hate the new Angel design. I can't stand it. It makes it look like a freaking, prepubescent boy or girl. I hate that. I like the cute, chubby Angel from the original. I'm sorry. I like the little looking cherub Angel from the original. They made it more modern. Come on. There's less. It's less. It's less character. You know what I mean? You remember the little cute little angel, the little cute little
I
bug
do.
you can see?
Yeah, I know from the screenshots and stuff.
There was something to that, and they did make this is a modern thing I don't like, but I understand it. They made fighting off. They made the arrows not just shoot straight anymore. They kind of like go towards the target a little bit. They bend a little bit.
Oh,
It makes it simpler.
sure.
I get it. I don't hate it. It's like 30 years later. People maybe that's easier for people to play because
It's just different.
it's fine. Okay, I do recommend it though. Overall, to me it's like a 7.5 out of 10. But the original to me is a 10 out of 10. That's the difference.
This reminds me of DuckTales and DuckTales Remastered, which I
comes
did
back.
not like as a 7.5. However, I've always said that if you've never played the original DuckTales and you have the chance to play the remaster, play it. It's fun.
Sure.
It's just when you compare it to the original, that's where I fall apart on it.
So, see, it's my DuckTales remastered, but I liked it better, and I will probably go through more of it. But I mean, the original game was like a 3-hour game at most. This is going to be like an 18-hour game. Like that's how much they lengthen it out. Because like to build up your town takes a lot longer.
Sure.
They really add. I think there was like 4 sieges, 4 towns. I actually enjoy that part of the game the best. The sieges, the real time, like almost military strategy element. That's a pretty cool thing. Like, all right, you get a hero character, and then the hero works into the main story at the temple where you communicate. I'm like, okay, I see. He had nice abs.
Abs.